Hello there. It is I, James Patrick Binghood. I'm here to remind you that you need to like and subscribe to this channel.
Dude, it's amazing how many people are in our culture right now that are like about to exceed every other record. Like
Yeah.
we were talking about billionaires, and like the richest man in the world is Elon Musk at 250 billion.
I think that dropped. I think Elon came back up. I
Wait,
don't
what?
Elon, but Jeff.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
They
hard to
probably
keep
are.
up at this
I was
time,
gonna say
yeah.
they're probably at a point where like the
Yeah.
net worth is just.
Well, I know Elon just lost. I think it was 10 billion on something. It was something that he lost like 10 billion on. That's what dropped him out of it.
SpaceX shit.
It may be. I think I read that.
I would
and I think so.
imagine.
Elon, not Elon, but Jeff ended up surpassing them. And it's funny. Speaking of Jeff, it's funny like what actually makes the news. I was on Yahoo, and Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, the one that she got all those billions. She's dating a science teacher now. That made like
I saw
Yahoo
that.
and like headlines. I was like, and then I saw that, and I saw like another article that was saying like, and Jeff is okay with it. It's like he's in a
Of course he
relationship.
is.
That's his ex-wife. Like they got a whole divorce.
He
You think
probably-
he gets
a science teacher.
the disrespect? I was like, you think he really gives a fuck about that?
I'm gonna
Like,
get rid of all my money.
yeah, like
If I could get her to get away from a fucking science teacher.
I know, right? A science teacher. That's the best you could do. Like
At
a
least
fucking
the-
science
yeah.
teacher.
Apparently, she's giving away a lot of the money.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if you got that many billions, there's not that much. There's only so many purses,
Oh,
shoes.
I think
and shit you can buy.
I think she's probably scared because, like, nowadays, I've heard Elon Musk say the same thing. Like, he wants to give a lot of his money away because it used to be being a billionaire was cool. Now it's considered evil. Yeah, I don't know what that was because I guess that buff. Yeah.
There's a dude upstairs. Quit talking about shit down there.
Do you think you could be a billionaire and not be a good person?
Yeah. I
So I was
definitely think so.
talking to this girl, and she was saying to me that if you have $1 billion and you're not, that means you're not using it to
Yeah.
help the world.
Well, I think so. I think that when you get that kind of money, and I think I can see like with, and I'm not saying like they're good people, but I'm saying like with like Bill Gates and like Warren Buffett and them, it's like they got so many billions, and that's why they're encouraging like their friends that have that, because it's like if. And I always see like the because you never really think about like the difference, but like I guess like I've seen diagrams where it had like so many different like circles, and it was like if you had $100 million, this is like what it looks like. If you have $1 billion, this is what it looks like. And it's just like the dots are like not even comparable. I think it's like something like if you have a billionaire, like you could live, you're good for. No, I think it would take you like 32 years to spend it or something like that. They said
32. If you have $1 billion or $1 million.
$1 billion. I think I read something like that. It would take, if you had $1 billion, it would take you so many years to spend that.
Yeah. My dad used
And
to
I would
say
think like that would be easy, but I feel like but then like if you buy a jet, like the most jets are like what 30, 50 million, something like that.
Didn't Mike Tyson get
guess.
rid of like 100 million in one night or something?
Possibly. I mean, yeah, the
I don't
boxers like
know.
they run through money like crazy. What are you gonna say, Jack? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was gonna say, like my dad used to always talk about like if I had $2 million, I would live for the rest of my life, like without working. Cause like he said, like I mean, you think about how much you spend within a year.
Yeah.
Like if you can do 40,000, like he told me, he was like, with the age I am, and if I had $2 million, I could live the rest of my life without doing a job.
But also too, that's if he doesn't have lifestyle creep.
I
If-
was
if
about
his-
to
yeah, that's
say
what I'm
that.
saying.
Yeah,
If
his
yeah,
lifestyle
I was
stays the
about to say
same,
that.
Yeah.
Because it's like if you get $1 million, it's like, oh, now I can do this. Now I can do that.
Ferrari sure look nice. Yeah.
But also too, I'm thinking like to your dad's point, if he's able to do it. So like if he had, if he can live off $40,000-$50,000 a year, and if he has like a house, if he took maybe some of that money and paid off his house and just like got it down to where he didn't have any bills, he probably could, and then he could probably still like travel and do other stuff to kind of compensate for the lifestyle creep.
Yeah.
Stick to one house also.
Yeah. Pay it off, and then like the money that you would spend on the house, the mortgage, use that to like travel and do
And
stuff
the
on.
car.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'd say. Like the car and the house, that would probably be the two most expensive
Does he have a
things.
car?
Yeah.
So
Is
he
it-
wouldn't
is it-
even
is it
need,
paid off?
yeah, you know.
Yes. His my mom's car is not paid off.
Gotcha, yeah.
She just bought a 2020 Denali last
so
year.
yeah.
So yeah,
So they've been paying on that for a while.
They're still on that. Yeah.
This is probably a really ignorant statement, but I feel like if I had $1 million, I would use that million to make more money. Like, I feel like most people think about what they'd spend, but I would just probably
Well,
like.
that's because
Yeah.
you're
turn into
Jewish,
more.
Micah. So you guys think differently than the rest
No,
of America.
it's really because I'm paranoid. It's really because I'm
See,
paranoid.
When it comes to finances, you guys think about stuff way differently than
I
we
wish.
do.
I wish.
Me and Jack are like, I'd get a
How many
kangaroo,
pizzas?
a drum set.
Dude,
Like,
I wish.
Micah's like, I would invest in the stock market and double my money.
I wish
It's
that
like-
stereotype. I wish that stereotype applied to my parents.
Oh man, I was thinking about all the parties.
Yeah, like all the strippers and cocaine and prostitutes. Micah's like, I would just invest it in.
I would
in
invest it.
No,
Yeah.
this is gonna sound ignorant, but I feel like if I had 1 million, I would have 2 million. You
Yeah.
know, like all it takes is like that. The hardest is that 1 million they
yeah,
say.
yeah. But I was gonna go tell Jack that, like, if his dad invested that $2 million, because you could. I think there's like a way. It's different, like stuff that you can do. That's why I think like a lot of people do. They get that kind of money. They maybe put it in, and it may not be correct. It's like a trust or some form of account to where you put that money in there and you designate how much money it sends to you monthly. And while it sits in the account, it just continues to like compound
Grow,
interest.
yeah.
Yeah. And that way, like you so it's almost like you're paying yourself. So like every month, maybe like you get paid for like the whole month. So you
That's how you keep your lifestyle.
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that. Like you don't.
don't
You're
get it all
basically-
once lump sum. Be like, oh, I got
Yeah.
this money, I can go crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like if you paid off, I sound like what Jack's dad example. If he paid off everything he had, and then like the money he would spend on bills, just allocate that to like fun stuff, then yeah, you could definitely do that.
Yeah, I think he was thinking about just like his frugal lifestyle that he already has. I would
Oh, yeah.
imagine that he would try his best to do that. But you're right. Like once you have that money, like shit changes. Like,
It does, and
yeah.
and like I said, even like, and that's the thing. Like, I've been reading when I've been like looking at that kind of stuff with billionaires. That's how a lot of them keep it. A lot of them, like, of course, like they live lavishly, but they only live off of like a percentage of their income. And of course, like they have a business, so they get like tax deductions and stuff. That's why, like with Amazon, they're like a multi-billion-dollar company and pay no taxes. Like that's crazy. But like the three
Yeah.
of us make like not even a third of that. You know, like
Yeah.
point whatever 0.1% of that, and we're paying taxes. You know, they're like that's how they do it, and they
They found the loophole because like
They
Yeah.
got people to do the shit for them to figure that out.
yeah.
No, but their whole business model is they operate at a loss so that they don't have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
But the way they operate at a loss is by
Deductions.
it's pretty much predatory. What they'll do is like they'll be like, okay, you sell these microphones. We're going to sell these microphones for less than you until you go out of business. So then we're the only people selling microphones.
I mean, Amazon's like that. It's like they got something like, was it Amazon Choice? It's the title of like this stuff, and it's pretty much like the same thing. When I was looking up like cables, like they got, of course, like good like monster cables or like
And they're like $20 cheaper
Yeah.
than every
You
other
got, like,
website.
an Amazon
awesome.
original.
Yeah, it's awesome for the customer.
yeah, you got like an Amazon original that's like $11. So it's just like
And we'll bring it to your bed.
yeah, so it's just like
Literally put it at your door.
I just need a mic cable, bro. Like it ain't got to be like super top quality. So of course, like I'm gonna buy the $11 one.
Yeah. Man, they really do got everything, man. That's
They
just
do.
like
That's what's crazy.
Stores are done.
How did they figure that shit out? Like, how did they figure out, like, oh shit, we got to do caskets for cats? Fuck, put it
Yeah.
up there. Like, how do they know about that shit? Like,
And what's crazy is they're growing like even more, like because I've seen that like now I saw, of course, like if you think about it, like they bought Whole Foods, so like now it's just
I
like
remember that, yeah.
so they bought Whole Foods, but all of their like grocery delivery service, because Summer was telling me about that, her and her boyfriend, they do that, like they use the Amazon, it's like produce or groceries, whatever it is. And like you can order through Amazon like what you want, and Amazon will deliver it to you within a 2-hour window. But it's just like that's why they bought Whole Foods, because all the Whole Foods they bought, they just operated at a Whole Foods.
Exactly. Yeah, they don't have to change anything.
Yeah, so it's like the same. So it's just like finding those models. And I just read too, which is gonna probably be crazy.
Jesus.
They're about to start Amazon Pharmacy to where they'll deliver your prescription drugs to your door.
holy shit.
Well, he
And
he
the
stepped
theft
down.
rate is gonna.
Man, that's what I said. That's gonna be dangerous. Like medicine, like people delivering that. Oh yeah.
Oh man, especially if they like put Amazon Pharmacy, like, ooh, that could be Loratab.
Yeah,
No,
you
it's
never know what
it's
it could
gonna
be.
be the drones,
Oxycodone.
dude. The drones will drop them off.
Oh,
That'd be cool
yeah,
too.
yeah.
But yeah, they're about to start doing that. So it's like they're finding all these different ways, and that's the thing. Is just like it's gonna make it to a point to where like you literally don't have to leave your house or anything.
Yeah,
He stepped
Well,
down too.
yeah, he did. I thought he stepped back up. Man,
Did he?
I don't know.
It's
man.
hard to keep up
Somebody of these billionaires.
I think he
and all
did step
this-
down.
His
Shit they
billion
do.
went down, and he like Elon Musk took over, and he's like, you know what? I don't.
He's like,
retire."
wait, fuck that motherfucker! I'm coming
Like
back.
literally, I ordered this watch bracelet this morning off Amazon, and 3 hours later it was delivered to me.
3 hours.
3 hours
Yes.
later?
Wow.
You know, like some of that
Damn.
stuff they got like same day delivery, so it's like they'll deliver it to you within like 3 to 4 hours.
We've come a
See,
long
we-
way from like horse and buggy across the country. You know.
Yeah.
Can I have this shit in 3 hours? Than what I just thought.
So I was like,
of
but
on
I
the
think it's
internet.
clutch because like imagine if, for instance, like Jack, if you were driving that morning and something happened and you fucked up your guitar, you could, if you had a gig that night, you can literally go on Amazon and that may not be the best guitar, but if they have same day delivery, you can literally get that guitar in like 3 to 4 hours. I mean, of course, you can always go to the store and go buy it too.
Yeah.
But like if you wasn't around a store or anything like that, you can literally have it delivered to you in 3 hours.
Yeah.
And still have it in time for your gig that night.
Dude, this weekend I had some friends come up, and when they got there, they were telling me something was wrong with their car, and we figured out it was an ignition coil or the spark plug. Either way, we had to replace both of them just to make sure it wasn't either or. So we looked up prices around town. And this is a big thing in the car industry or car parts industry is like AutoZone and O'Reilly. They're going to ask for like $100 for whatever it is, but you could find it online for literally like $15. Spark plugs,
Facts.
ignition coils, alternators, all that shit. You can
Yeah.
find it like $100 if less or more cheaper
Yeah.
online. So there's an ignition coil that we were looking for on Amazon, and it had one for 4 of them, 4 ignition coils for a 4-cylinder engine, for like $30. But one at O'Reilly costs $59.99.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy! And not only that, we could have had those parts in 3 days, and that's what I was saying. I was like, damn, I really wish I would have known about if I could get it in 3 hours. Because
Yeah.
how do you do that? Is it
Well,
just like
it's
certain
just
shit?
if they have it available, like certain stuff, you know, of course, like
Okay.
with Prime, if they have it available, like some stuff you can get the day, like next day, some stuff you can get the same day, some stuff it's like
They
1 or 2
like
days.
Amazon
Okay.
has
Yeah, it's just different
stores
levels.
in Green Hill. They have
Yeah,
the
and
Amazon
that's what I'm
store.
saying. Is
Yeah.
like they got warehouses around Nashville,
They just
so I would
built,
think they could do so
Yeah,
much.
two
like,
new
oh, we got
ones
one
here.
right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just built 2 big new ones in like Middle Tennessee. So yeah, so like the rate that Amazon's going, you know, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's unstoppable.
But also too, Mike, I want to say this. I think too, for like, I want to touch on this when you said it. Like, I think for like the billionaires that you said like are considered like good or bad people, I think it's only like that because most of them are in the public eye and there's always articles about them. So like what Jack was saying earlier about like Elon and Jeff like neck and neck. There's actually this billionaire in India who's actually about to pass Elon, but no one knows about him because like he rarely does interviews.
But this girl that I was talking to, when
Don't they keep up with the net worth though? Is he not
Yeah.
on?
I'm pretty sure he's on there, but
didn't mean
like
to cut you off.
they just don't
You're good.
have like many pictures or like videos of him talking. So I think because of that, and I think like you look at the billionaires as good as bad because you can see them and you can see like what they do and like all their dirt is out there. But I feel like if they were like quiet and you didn't ever really hear about them, then it's just like they can be a billionaire and be in peace. Like there's a lot of,
well, Putin is apparently the richest person in the world.
but he's always in the public eye. Like
Yeah.
you're always seeing Putin hit
Yeah.
this, Putin that. Like it's
True,
always something
true.
about him. But it's like I mean like Jeff, for the most part, like you really don't ever hear nothing really about him unless
But-
like, he does something.
But this girl that I was talking to, she was saying to me, yeah, finish. You
No,
he-
I was
he
gonna
was telling
say
me
like
get
he
closer.
just get close to the mic. No, go ahead, Mike. You was talking about the girl.
This girl that brought that question to me, where I said to her, well, what about if somebody inherits their money? They didn't do anything bad to get it. She said, well, then they're a shitty person for not using that money to, like, in Africa, if you have $1 billion, you could feed a whole country, you know?
yeah, true.
I was looking at like like how much wealth was in Rwanda, and it was like 9 billion.
Yeah,
And
it's a lot.
Rwanda's a up and coming country. Like I talk about
Yeah.
Rwanda a lot with you.
Oh, we spoke about we spoke about this
Yeah.
last week. 9
Oh,
billion, yeah.
Yeah, it's got like a wealth of 9 billion.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
Bill,
Africa-
Bill Gates could buy
Africa
like
period,
12
yeah.
of those.
yeah, but yeah, as I was saying,
But
like,
but also too
Rwandans.
though, I think, I mean, a lot of them do stuff with their money, but like I think too, I think it's hard to like, I don't know, I don't think it's that easy. I feel like because once you get that kind of money, like if you got like 2 billion, I would expect you to like just give up 1 billion to like charity. I would expect you to do like a piece of that.
We shouldn't expect that.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be expecting
Yeah.
it. And that's the thing. I think like there's a new generation of like Americans were always taught to kind of be selfish. Like you could
Yeah.
be a billionaire and make all this money and get all this for yourself. And I think the next generation, I wouldn't say the next generation because I would say she's closer to Gen Z on the millennial Gen Z.
Yeah.
She's just like, no, universal healthcare type girl.
Yeah.
Which I'm all for, but I think that the mindset also is that like billionaire is an immoral concept.
Oh, gotcha. I mean, yeah. But also too, I think. I don't know.
Listen, I would love to be a billionaire.
Well, no, I
you
think
know?
the deeper part to that is I think
I'd love to be a horrible person.
I think it's just like but also too, I think it's just like society's beliefs about money, and that's what I had to like. I've been like when stuff like I've been like watching and reading on is just like I think that's a thing about that maybe like a subconscious thing that may keep people from being rich, because people attach like having money, a lot of money, to being evil, and so like as a result, subconsciously you want to get rich. But you may not get rich because subconsciously you believe if I get rich, I'm gonna be looked at as evil. I'm gonna
There's
feel like
that too. There is that.
yeah. I think about like, man, I actually thought about this today. I was thinking about like the classism within like the blue collar world. Like a lot of guys that are like in the blue collar, like welders and plumbers and electricians. A lot of them like, drive these trucks or something like that, and they kind of brag about their money, and obviously not everyone, of course, but just this idea of like the classism in stuff that's not that much money, like not even over the 6-figure mark, and you have like people that are classist in the lower to middle class,
People with the nice rims.
yeah, nicer big trucks, big
trucks.
tires and stuff, and they talk about like if you want it, you got to work for it. Like it's it's like a bunch of shit like that. I always think about like, man, what if those people were billionaires? And I'm like, man, they would be shitting on everybody, or just like there's a whole ethos
That comes from an insecurity from not having that money.
I was about to say that.
that's
Yeah,
true,
I
too.
think when people that like really have money, like if like they don't flash it because it's just like they don't have to, and it's just like you could be like next to somebody at Walmart and he's got on like a Hawaiian shirt, some khaki shorts, and like some like cheap flip flops. His whole outfit he could probably get from Walmart, and it's probably maybe like $30-$40.
Yeah.
And like he could be like the richest person, and there's someone like you said next to him that's got like this fancy car with the rims and all that stuff. And I mean they may have money too, but it's just like a lot of people that have that kind of money, like they're not flashy like that. And I think that goes back to like what Michael was saying about what the girl was saying. It's just like a lot of them, because also too like you never think like if you have $1 million and people know about it, imagine how many people are coming to you on a daily basis trying to get money from you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
everyone's trying to get something.
Yeah, and so it's like
Everybody
you
wants
want to
some
help
money.
everybody, but it's like you can't because you'll go broke. So it's like if you
Yeah.
had $1 billion, of course you can help more. But it's like imagine
How many people want? But okay.
or are after you. And I thought about to Jack's point, and I was having this conversation with Savannah and them not too long ago, and it was the same thing. It was just like for a while, I think I was afraid of having money because I was like I would want nice things, but I know like when you have nice things, you become more of a target.
Oh.
That's like for me, I was like, how dope would it be if I was rich and I just would drive my Ferrari or like Aston Martin to like Chick-fil-A, beat the drive-thru
Yeah.
or something, like with the top down. But it's like, but you think about it, like if I had a Ferrari, even if I go to like the grocery store or I park it, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if you're out at night, like people just see the Ferrari, so like you're a target now for getting robbed. You're a target,
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, he's got the Ferrari, he's got to have money. So it's just like, when you're moving around, it's like people will see that and you you can do certain stuff, but you have to be a lot more aware of stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's why I think that's when people say like more money, more problems. I think that's like what it means. It's like those kind of things.
Yeah, like I think that there's a balance, you know. I don't think that like if you're a millionaire, you're the most stressful guy in the world. Like I think that there's like there comes responsibility along with that money. You're right, but like
But not always. You could be born and be
that's
given
true
$1 billion,
too, you know.
and then you got no worries.
Yeah.
But
But a lot of those people are shitty.
yeah.
They're shitty because they
Well,
don't.
not all of them. They
because
have
they
a
don't-
phase where they're shitty.
Well, it's probably because they don't have meaning to their life because they don't have to work.
Yeah,
You
true.
know?
Yeah,
True.
they're not incentivized because they
Yeah.
already have it. Why would they need to be?
Yeah.
Man, I forgot what I was gonna say, but I was gonna say like, oh,
I
I
forgot what I was
forgot what I was saying, but
about
I,
balance.
I'm just
Yeah, you said
using
balance.
English words, just
Great
throwing them out
line,
there.
great line.
Yeah.
It's a bumper sticker right there.
Yeah, you're talking about balance.
Yeah, the balance, but also like, I was gonna compare like your Aston Martin, like driving around, people asking for favors and money and stuff like that. Like I'm thinking about like the music industry and how like successful people in the music industry probably get asked a lot of favors to do music stuff.
Oh, yeah.
you know. So I'm thinking like some producer or a musician that's a part of a band. I used to think when I was in middle school, I'll be like, dude, I'll just record an album and I'll give it to, some drummer that I meet that's with this popular band and I'll be famous. Like,
And sometimes
really
it works like
used-
that if they like it, and you
yeah,
know.
that's true, but the odds are probably
yeah.
not,
Oh yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So
because you got to imagine how many people are like doing the same thing you're
sending
doing.
emails, all
Sending
that
songs.
shit.
So it's
yeah.
like I can't listen to all this music. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
And also like they probably don't care. Like they don't have any reason to give you a chance
no.
because you are just like everybody else. You
Yeah.
know.
Unless the music's really good. If they hear it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
they hear it,
There's
yeah.
some
You hear about
so-
that
that's what
every
I'm saying.
once in a while.
yeah,
there's
it gets
some-
through every now and then.
There's some guys that do that, but like, it's most of them. It's the same thing with the millionaires. Like people are like, hey man, like I see you got this nice car and everything, man. That's great, man. That's so good to hear about you, man. And they find out that you make a lot of money. Like, man, I got something that came up, man. Like, I don't know if like
And it's
millionaires
always
have
that.
to deal with that all
Yeah.
the time.
I mean,
I'm
but there's probably
sure-
people in between them to where like you can't just get access to them. I'm pretty sure like they have people
Yeah.
that like are in the middle. But,
Yeah.
but that's what they say. It's just like, and even a lot of people that have money, because you got to think about it. A lot of times a lot of times what people say, I hear, it's like it's your family that's the biggest thing, because like you have money, so it's like it's your cousin or your brother or your mom or your aunt, and everyone has problems. Everyone has something, So when you got money, of course, it's like, and people are just astronomical. It'd be like, it's not people asking you like, hey man, like I just need like $300 toward like my NES or like my phone. It's like, hey man, can you give me $10,000? It's like, for what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you this $10,000. You're gonna go and do something stupid with it.
Let me give y'all a good example of like the difference in being poor for a long time and then getting money, and how you have to conduct yourself when you have the money.
that part.
And let me say, I know someone personally, I think, not in the billionaire range or millionaire range, but my dad is a great example. Not my stepdad, I was talking about my biological dad. He grew up all my life, grew up with him, going to school. And when I turned 22, he graduated and became a doctor, a surgeon. So all those years prior to that, lived in a trailer, worked all these different jobs, was broke most of the time. Like I would go see him for Christmas and he'd be like, hey, I ain't got nothing for you.
Yeah.
And it was okay because like honestly, my stepdad and my mom, we were well off, and like, it was good. But like I always thought that as a young kid, I was like, man, how come my dad's just broke all the time, And he was going to school so much, and he grew up poor too. Like his home that he grew up in, he was pretty broke as well. So finally, at the age of like 45 or 50, 45, somewhere around there, he finally gets a job, becomes a general surgeon, and makes like over 200,000 a year. And when that happened, I remember like my dad just calling, texting me. He's like, hey, I just sent you some money. I hope you like it. And I just was like, oh, okay, cool. And he sent me like $1,000. And I was like, whoa, wow, like this
Yeah.
is crazy. And I'm like, man, Dad, I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. And I was like, man, I appreciate you doing all that thing. He's like, hey, man, it's a new life. It's a new life. And I was like, that's really cool. And it really is cool. I'm not
Yeah, no,
about to
that's
say
good.
I'm not about to say anything bad about it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
It's irresponsible.
that's what I was gonna say. His ethos had to change over the years, because if he thought like that, because it was like he just got this job being a surgeon, and now he's making money. Now he's paying off stuff. Now he can buy motorcycle rent. He did that shit. He bought a car. He bought this. It was
Yeah.
a Mitsubishi 3000. He bought a Mercedes.
The
I'm
lifestyle
telling you.
creed. That's a lifestyle creed. Could you get it?
But
There's
the
like
thing
a
is,
percent of people who win the lottery apparently go broke.
yeah.
Oh, like quick, like within like 1 or
yeah.
2 years.
See, but my dad, he's smart, man. He's smart. So like, but it's funny. He's smart. And he was buying all the shit, but it's nice shit if you're broke still.
Yeah.
So he bought like a used Mercedes,
Hey, that's frugal, man.
I know, but it was like, he probably knows now that like it wasn't the right approach, and now he's kind of changed his whole mindset of like how to deal with money.
Yeah.
And
And you have
yeah.
to. And I think that's so like I think a lot of people that get money because you had to go through that, once you get there, it takes you a lot to get to it. So like once you get there, you kind of know how to manage it. But if you've never had it, you don't think about it. That's why I was saying, like, the people that have it, they know, like, I can't do everything and I can't do all this. So you like, and I think sometimes that's what I've seen. Like I've like watched interviews of billionaires. Is like they always say it's like making money is easy. It's keeping money that's the hard part, because like once you get it, because most of us that get it, you didn't come from nothing. So of course you want to pay your parents' house off, or get your mom a new car, or be able to like have your brother or sister go to the college they want to, or set up something for like your nieces and nephews and stuff. Like you want to be able to do
Right.
that, but it's just like you can't and you can't just ways to do it. But like a lot of people don't understand that. And I also heard like people say that like after you make your first million, like every million after that is like easy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, there's like what was that? Did you just see that? It was a Netflix documentary of some sort, but it was talking about billionaires, and there was a quote.
I don't think I have now. Is it good? I have to
Yeah,
watch
it was
Yeah.
good. It was talking about like billionaires, like different millionaires and billionaires, but it was saying like it was comparing like the difference in like making $10 into $100 is impossible, but making 10 million into 100 million is inevitable. That was like some rich guy's quote.
Yeah, that's
But
wow.
like that's something you got to look at too. Is like there is a difference in like the millionaire club and like how capital works and how
Yeah.
our society works with money.
It's all exponential growth.
Yeah.
So
See,
the more you have, the more increase. You
Yeah.
know, the more.
Well, also too, I think it's like when you and I guess what I'm saying, like, because you're learning to get to that million. So when you get to that million, it's like you have to put certain things in place. Like you have to make certain money moves so you can get to that million.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get to it, you already have these things in place, and you knew what it took to get that million. So from there, it's just building on that.
That's
And then also
yeah.
too, like I've seen, like people said, like once you get that $1 million, everyone looks like at $1 million like it's a lot of money. So once you get $1 million, then you start having people that want to come and work with you because you're making money. So they're like, oh, you made $1 million, you're doing something. Let's partner up. And then, like you
Right.
said, then you see like the growth. Then it's like after that, it's like,
I feel like they see the hard work
Yes.
rather than the money.
So I just want to get this into your point from earlier.
I was
on-
going to talk about that.
Yeah, this is like I always think about Mark Zuckerberg or like Steve Jobs, and then you look at or even Bill Gates, and then you look
You
at
say
somebody like
Zuckerberger?
what?
I said Zuckerberger.
Did I?
Yeah.
My bad. Zuckerberg.
I kind of like that.
No,
It's
I think I
funny.
said Mark
Zuckerberg.
I thought I said Mark Zuckerberg.
Hey, McDonald's, the
or
new Zuckerberg.
I thought I was saying Mark. I thought I said Mark Zuckerberg
Faceburger.
or Steve Jobs. But
Two
okay.
patties.
I thought I just
Lettuce
added
and
an or, but okay. Yeah, so when I think about like them, and then you think about somebody like Donald Trump, who is supposed to be a billionaire, and he's like always got to wear the fanciest stuff, but like the real richest people, like Mark Zuckerberg or or Steve Jobs, like they wear the same shirt every
Yeah.
fucking day. And I feel like they understand that. It's
I mean, like, with Warren Buffett, like, what? He still lives in the same house he had when he bought it in,
Omaha,
like...
yeah.
Yeah, like, he still drives that old-ass Mercedes, like... And he's got a whole bunch of, and then I think that's just saying like when you have it, you don't have to do that. Like you could.
You don't need to impress anyone. You don't need
Yeah.
to like wear nice things.
Yeah.
So
And I've heard too, like on a deeper note, that stuff like that, like when you especially like if you're a creative, like what all three of us are, when you take away what you have to like worry about as your outfit. So imagine like every day you just woke up and you didn't have to think about like what I'm gonna wear today, when I'm gonna do that. So it's like that energy and that mental capacity that you could be spending on like what you're gonna wear, you could put that towards something else. So it's just like, and at the end of the day, it's like you could still be fly in this. You could just wear the same gray shirt, maybe some black jeans, and just put up the tennis shoes.
you ever notice how like all the people who design clothes wear all black?
Yeah, it's simple.
It just shows that it's all bullshit. They're like, we know what happens behind the curtain.
I mean, Steve Jobs always used to wear those turtlenecks, so it's just like that
Black
was his,
turtleneck, blue jeans.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's like you don't gotta like think
It
about
was
nothing.
the fit. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
his outfit.
But it's like it's Steve Jobs, so it's like you're not gonna go up to Steve Jobs and make fun of what he's wearing.
So I'd say.
Like if any idiot, no one's gonna do that. No one's gonna go up to Zuckerberg and be like, "Man, what are those?" Like talking about your shoes and shit. Like nobody like.
I'll show you what it is.
Yeah.
$100 billion.
Yeah.
So we're gonna watch this clip.
Okay.
Bill Gates is for a little while because I've become obsessed with this man. It's just I used to think Donald Trump was the richest man in America, and he's not even close to the richest man in America. Bill Gates is the richest man in America, and it's a blowout. He is worth $59
At the time
billion.
now it's yeah.
$billion. He makes everybody in here look destitute. And I know, even if you're like, no, it's okay, I'm a billionaire. No, fuck you. You are broke compared to Bill Gates. We have nothing in common with him. He has nothing in common with your run-of-the-mill garden variety single-digit billionaires. Like most of your billionaires, let's be honest, have $1 billion. They're what I like to call barely billionaires. Whenever I'm introduced to a billionaire as a billionaire, and it turns out they've only got $1 billion, I always say under my breath, barely.
That's funny.
And most of the people who are given credit for billionaires are technical billionaires. They're rounded billionaires. They're worth like 978 million, 988 million. They're just rounded up to be billionaires. And they know they're failures. They'll correct you. They know. I really thought Donald Trump was the richest billionaire. No. He doesn't have $59 billion. And neither will you.
Damn.
Unless, this is what you would have to do, other than working really hard and inventing something that takes over the world.
Basically.
The other way to do it is, of course, to win the lottery. You would have to win a $100 million Mega Millions jackpot every week for 600 consecutive weeks. But I'm going to warn you, that type of streak, very rare.
Facts.
He does a lot in this thing about putting perspective into what $1 billion
Almost
is.
unheard of. It's very... But that's what that man is worth. $59 billion.
Gary Goldman.
Donald Trump, on the other hand, he's worth, this is great, $2.9 billion. Oh, what a loser. What a
I'm sure.
loser. $2.9 billion. That's less than 5. You round down less than 5. Essentially, he's worth, in my calculations, he's worth $0 billion. He's worth $0 billion. And yet he's, you're fired, you're fired. You're broke. Shame on you. You should be embarrassed. Walking around humiliated all the time because you can't tell me he's not competitive. He's got to be. These people have to be maniacally mentally ill competitive.
Yeah.
They have to be in order for me to cope with their success.
That's where the
They
bad
have to
bad
be.
rep comes from.
Otherwise, then if they're regular people, then it's gonna kill me. That will destroy me. I have to be convinced that they're mentally ill. But I think Donald Trump, there's no question, this man is maniacally competitive, and it kills him that Bill Gates is beating him 59-3. It kills him.
Yeah.
It kills him that he's losing by 8 touchdowns. 59-3. Bill Gates. He can condescend to Donald Trump. That's got to be the best part of being Bill Gates.
He really hates Donald Trump.
Is talking down to Donald Trump.
When was this recorded?
Right,
Season at a party.
2014, I think.
Okay.
Goes up to
15.
him. Hey, what's up, Trump? Just looks at him with that disdain that nobody else really can. What's up, Trump? You sicken me. You're so tacky. You're so gauche.
That's not the situation anymore.
Right, yeah.
Most people look at them that way.
I call my business Microsoft. I don't call it Gatesware. You egomaniac. You put your name on everything.
Oh, I gotta tell you this funny story I saw
It's
too.
not underwear. You're not going off to summer camp. Stop it.
He's got a thing at one point where he's like talking. The one thing I really wanted to show was this thing where he's
Just put him in his place.
talking about.
What's up, Trump? Calling somebody by their last name after a certain age, it's humiliating. What's up, Trump? I heard you're up to $59 billion. Oh, no, that's me. But I'm sure you knew that. Nah, I'm just kidding with you. Listen, Trump. $2.9 billion is a good start. Seriously. Seriously. It's almost 3. And I'm going to tell you something. I think it's adorable.
That's
I
hilarious.
think it's so quaint that you still keep track of the points. 2.9.
The .9.
And listen, I'm sure it's a lot of money to you. $100 million. It's a great deal of money to you. I mean, to me, it's my fast cash setting at the ATM. But for you,
This is actually what the clip. We don't have to watch the whole thing, but he has a thing about what it's like for. He found $20 in his pocket, and he said the equivalent for Bill Gates, like for him to even care, he wouldn't care about $20 because it wouldn't mean anything to him. It's like not enough time for him to stop and take $20 out of his pocket.
Yeah.
He would have to. He does the math. He's like the equivalent of I make X amount a year to what his is like $100 million bill is like his 20 or something.
Oh yeah.
It's
Would it actually would matter? Be like, oh,
yeah. But you said you had a story.
oh yeah. I was watching this podcast and they were interviewing Mark Cuban, and he said that, and they were tripping at the fact that like how easy it was to get a hold of Mark Cuban. Like they of course had to go through somebody that knew him and knew them, and so they set it up, and so Mark sent them his personal email. So they were emailing Mark through like his personal email. I don't think he ever gave him like his phone number or whatever. And he was telling the story. And they were applauding him because like of course Mark Cuban's a billionaire, but it's just like the fact that like he's so humble and it was so easy to get a hold of him, and the fact that a billionaire himself is emailing you through like his personal email. Of course, I'm pretty sure he's got like a team of secretaries that is like like you have to get through them and then probably get through somebody else before you actually get to Mark Cuban. So the fact that he cut all the middlemen out, and so he was telling the story. He said that back before Trump was the president, he went to one of the Trump towers to go visit Trump. And he was all excited about it because he's seen Trump on TV and stuff, and was just like, oh man, like he was excited about meeting him. And he said that, so of course, like, to set it up, he had to go through Trump's secretary or whatever. And even like when he got there, it was like a secretary was like, like kind of like screening him. Like you see in the movies, and then like you go in one of those big offices and Trump's in there. And he said he goes in Trump's office, and he said on his wall, there is nothing but pictures of himself.
Yeah.
And like he would always, and then Mark said like even just in talking to him, Trump would always talk about himself in third person.
That's the weird. I don't like third person.
I got a close a Trump story, but
Yeah.
I don't know the person that told it. I do know.
This is coming from Martin Cuban, so this is like,
yeah.
I was like, that's wild.
So the Trump story that I know of is a guy named Mac Davis.
Uh-huh. That name sounds familiar.
He was the writer of "In the Ghetto" by Elvis.
Okay, that's probably
So
why.
like,
That song.
yeah, the song. So just type in Mac Davis.
Or we could do.
That's him. American singer-songwriter. That's it. So he died actually last year, not long ago.
All right.
And in September he died. So Mac Davis has a story. Oh, is that the pizza?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna let him do all that shit. Let me.
Oh, I think he's off now.
Oh, he's good. Oh, okay. No, I was gonna say Mac Davis has a story where he played golf with Trump,
Mm-hmm.
and he played golf with Trump, and this is the first time he ever met him. And he said while they were playing, Trump was cheating. Like Trump would like take the golf ball and throw it somewhere and then hit it, and he'd be like, "That's not how you play golf." And he's like, "No," but he insisted that he wasn't cheating. Like it was like he didn't understand that he was cheating. And Mac was like, Mac said he didn't like him for doing that because they didn't talk about that, and yeah, he just kept doing it. Mac brought it up to his attention the whole time, and Trump didn't even laugh or joke about it, but he said he just acted like it was. No, I'm not cheating. And he's like, I saw you drop the ball there. Like,
Dude,
that's
do you
cheating.
remember Rick? Did you ever read Sports Illustrated back in the day? Like Rick Riley used to have like an article
No.
in the back, Life of Riley. Anyways, he made a book. He wrote a book while Trump was president.
About
Well,
Trump cheating and
Cheating,
the,
all
golf.
about his golf and how he cheats in golf, and all
Okay.
different people's accounts of
check,
different things.
Check this out. It gets
Yeah.
worse. So, Trump and him Trump cheated at golf the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
He said he didn't like him for that. Well, later in that week, somehow he was like doing work with some group, and Trump was involved, and Mac Davis was involved.
Mm-hmm.
Trump called his wife, whose name is, go back, I think it's like
Mac
Lisa.
Davis.
Mac Davis's wife, Lisa something. She was like a Playboy bunny at one point.
We'll get to it, but what do you call her?
He called her and asked her to go to dinner with him.
It's one of these three because he was. Well, it was probably the least.
Lisa.
This
Lise, yeah, that's her.
Okay.
So she was a Playboy model at one point.
Mm-hmm.
I can
Yeah,
see that. She
That's
looks like
her.
it.
Yep. So Trump called Lisa and asked her to go to dinner with him without Mac knowing. And guess what? Lisa told Mac. Like,
No shit.
Why did that happen? And Mac said he got in contact with Trump and called and cussed him out, saying, "Don't you ever call my wife again to ask for dinner. What's wrong with you?"
Really?
And Trump denied it.
Huh.
And he was saying, like, you are crazy. He's like, you cheated at golf. Then you try to get my wife to cheat with you. He was like,
Then when I approach you about it, you lie about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. On top of that, he denied it. So Mac Davis, a lifelong Republican, said he did not vote for Trump. And it's not because of his policy. He said it was because he tried to fuck his wife and he cheated
His
at
character,
golf.
yeah, that means more than politics. That should.
Exactly.
Well, you know about the Kellyanne Conway. You know who that is?
Yeah.
That name sounds
Yeah,
familiar.
yeah.
She was like
She
part
was
of.
like an advisor or something like
Yeah.
that to him.
Her husband is like a known Democrat or something.
No, he's a Republican. He's I forget his name, but let me look it up.
Or maybe she was the Democrat initially. But either way, it was all fucked up because Trump would shit on her husband and she worked directly for him, and then like she was stuck in the middle of the president of the United States and her husband. Let me get that.
Pizza's here.
George Conway. Yep. He was a Republican before 2018. In 2018, he called himself independent. So George Conway, because of Trump, decided to switch sides or change his view, apparently.
That's crazy.
Yeah, also, what is pretty crazy, there was, what's her name? Ann Navarro from CNN.
Yeah, I know who that.
Yeah, she's like a lifelong Republican, and she shits on Trump all the time. Oh my gosh, guys, this pizza in here smells so great.
They look like small pieces, so I guess take a couple if you want.
We
Well,
probably
I'll
got
get one for
about
right now,
10
yeah.
minutes left before we wrap it up.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Oh,
Man.
okay.
Should we put this to the side? for now?
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
so,
we can, yeah,
Wait.
if you want to. Yeah.
I can wait.
Sorry, guys. Y'all get to see
No, you good.
If anybody wants to know what it smells like
Heaven.
really nice pizza.
I should have asked for. They put a lot of cheese on it, and I really
saw.
like their pizza.
They pulled. It was like the fucking Goofy movie cheese.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, when I did it.
It's like-
I sometimes have to specify. Don't put too much cheese. I mean, I have a friend who says there's no such thing as too much cheese, but I disagree personally.
I would not disagree. I would agree with your friend.
Yeah.
What's up?
What's your thought on the matter, Craig?
On what?
He's.
Can
I,
there
he-
be
I
too
can
much
tell he's a
cheese?
Goofy movie cheese guy. You're a Goofy movie cheese guy.
Not to where like it's like Goofy movie dripping off. I mean, cheese is good, but not like that much cheese. Where it's just like you gotta like wrap it up like spaghetti. Like you know how you do spaghetti on your fork, like wrap it up.
Yeah.
You gotta like wrap it
If
up.
I can
Yeah.
drink my pizza, I would fucking do it.
Do you like Chicago style pizza?
Is that the deep dish
Yeah.
shit? Yeah, dude.
To
There
me,
was
that's
actually
pizza soup in a bread bowl.
Dude, there's a dude, kind of funny story. In 2013, I went to Atlanta for the Xbox One event. It was
Okay.
really cool. It was like when the Xbox One was about to get released in like a few
That was
months.
the one with
but
the
it was like
with the screen on it. No, that's PS1.
yeah,
Sorry.
no Xbox One. It's
That
like
was recent,
the
yeah.
one before the newest Xbox. So
Mhm.
in 2013, we went to Atlanta and it was like a setup for like this, little loft space,
Mhm.
huge loft space actually, and it was really cool. And there was this lady there, and she had like a little snack bar, and it had like Mountain Dew and Dorito chips. It's the most video game snack food you could possibly get. And I was like, cool, I'll get some chips. So I grabbed the chips, and I talked to the lady for a while, and I was like, where are you from? She's like, oh, I'm from Nashville. I been there for a few years. I'm from Chicago originally. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I've never been to Nashville, never been to Chicago. Like I'm like a freshman, or I'm sorry, I was in college, a sophomore in college. And I fucking just told her, I was like, yeah, I've never been to any of those cities. This is my first time I've ever actually really been to a big city like Atlanta or Birmingham. And it's true. Like, I just hadn't been. She was like, oh, well, Chicago is huge. And Nashville's cool. And
Chicago's like 3 Nashvilles.
yeah, it's really big. So she was telling me that she actually moved to Nashville to open up a business. I was like, what kind of business? She said, a deep dish Chicago-style pizza business. And I was like, cool. I don't know shit about Chicago-style pizza. And she was like, oh, well, here's my card. And she gave it to me. And it said, like, the area code for Chicago. It's like 3. I don't
Not
know.
important.
Fucking, I don't know. But it was crazy because, I've never been to Nashville. 2013, never been to Nashville. Didn't even know I was going to live in Nashville at that point.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
And years go by. I moved to Nashville in 2017. And when I get here, for the few months that I was here, we've talked with Leah one day, and I was like, hey, let's go get some pizza. She's like, okay, yeah, there's a Chicago-style place over on, I don't even know where it is. But it's like a big restaurant now.
Was
What
it theirs? Was it hers?
Yes.
That's crazy.
It was hers. And I got there and like I didn't even realize it. I was like, I feel like I've been here, I've seen this place. And then I thought about it. I was like, yo, I think I met the lady that runs this business.
Wait, is it hers, or
No,
does she
it's-
own the actual franchise, or does she own the store?
No, she owns the franchise. She's like, it's her and her husband. They co-own the restaurant.
Wow.
So I was like thinking about it at the restaurant. We were eating outside and I was like, man, I'm pretty sure that this is that lady's pizza
That's
place
crazy.
that I don't know her name, can't remember her name, don't have her card anymore.
Do you
Like
remember the
none
name of
shit.
the place?
I'm about to look it up.
Yeah,
It's
look
like
up the
hang on.
place.
It's a pizza place here. Like it's
Hmm.
it's really good.
Okay.
Pizza. Anyways, long
There's a
story
Chicago style
short.
pizza place in Nashville.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me look at what's it called? It's like the area code for what you call it?
Chicago.
312 Pizza Company.
312 Pizza.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is like so clutch that you can pull this up like this, Michael.
All right. Yeah.
That's
right.
it. That's it.
Well, we gotta.
She.
You got some
Yep.
professionals.
That's it. Yo. I was at the restaurant eating my pizza and stuff, and I was thinking about that lady. I was like, yo, I'm pretty sure it's that lady. Sure enough,
She walks in.
she walks out. She's like, y'all enjoying everything? And we're like, yes. Oh, my God, it's so good. Thank you. And we're like, I was like, it's you.
She
But I
remember
didn't
you?
say this shit. No, I didn't say it to her. I was like, yeah,
I don't
thanks.
fuck with this square shit.
And
dude.
she, oh, yeah. It's like very school-like.
This. Yeah.
Yeah.
School cafeteria.
Ruins the pizza.
It was just kind of cool because, like, I was just like, oh, yeah, thanks. Because I wasn't entirely sure if it was her, but, like, I knew, like, this is her. This is her.
Yeah.
And she walks off, and I'm like, wow, that lady.
Was that your
That lady have I've interacted before.
Yeah.
And
Was
it
that your first time having deep dish?
Yeah, it was. It was my
I
first time.
like deep dish, but it's too much. Like pizza is meant to be eaten folded, like easily
Yeah.
on the go.
But I like the big fat shittiness of that.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot. I
It
love
tastes good, that's-
It's a different
it
experience.
is.
You have to sit and eat it.
Yeah,
You can't stand and eat that.
It's not
Or
like
on the go, yeah.
it's not like pizza. It's not like a party food. No,
Yeah.
you don't pizza party with Chicago stuff.
Yeah, you
You
don't
gotta
go
sit down.
don't be too
Yeah.
far from your home base after you eat a Chicago
You
pizza.
can be sleepy. You definitely have to itis.
Ooh,
And
shit.
yeah,
It
if you wind up
looks
with like a beer or some
so
wine.
good.
Oh yeah,
Eh,
it's definitely a nap.
Oh, look at that.
itis.
Oh, we supposed to talk about the vaccine too, Micah.
Oh yeah.
Just to
So
everybody get thoughts on it.
have you
And then here Jack starts on it too.
have you been vaccinated?
Yes, I went and got my second one.
He works in
About 3 weeks ago.
health-
You fucked up, Craig. No, it's fine.
I hope not. I waited
No,
though.
I'm just
I
kidding,
waited.
dude.
It's funny because like my coworkers, they all got it, and I knew other people that got it, and I was kind of like just sitting back and like just watching. I was just like, I was like, how do y'all feel? Like, you have any side effects? Have any this or that? I know it's funny. I told them I was like, I was like, if you guys get, of course I was joking, but I was like, if you guys turn into zombies, I get to shoot you. You know that, right? I get the right to shoot you because you turn
Dude,
into zombies.
I am. Get the vaccine, man. Don't.
I'm getting it tomorrow.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm,
Yeah, that's- I
I'm
didn't
driving
know
to
this
the
shit
middle
was so
of
quick.
buttfuck Tennessee because you can't get it in Nashville for a while
Yeah.
now. So
Really?
you gotta like.
And see, that was
My
part of my
mom got
reasons why I was
vaccinated.
going ahead and doing it because I was back and forth about doing it because like we was talking about it because I heard it was like rushed and everything, and so like it's funny. A coworker of mine, she was against it too, and she's very like anti everything. Like she doesn't get the flu shot.
Mhm.
She doesn't do like all that kind of stuff. She's like pretty much anything like anti government, anti whatever. She's not with it. And so she changed her mind and decided to get it, and that's kind of like what made me do it. 'Cause I was like, you know what? If this person's like this, and she's in the medical field, so she knows a lot more about it, like the
Can I
like
just
the
say
medical
how crazy
aspects.
it is, how different the vibes are. My friends in New York are like nobody. I don't know anyone in New York who's like, I'm not taking it. Everyone's like, give me the fucking shot. Why? When's
Yeah.
my turn?
Yeah.
And here, I've told people I'm getting it tomorrow, and people are like, just be careful and all this shit. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's like.
Well, how are you supposed to be careful? Like, okay, I just make sure I
No,
won't move
like-
my
like, make
arms.
sure-
I swear I'm turning into a robot now.
Someone told me that I have a bigger
Chinese
chance of getting
Russian
COVID
robot.
after I get the first one before I get the second and something. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
like.
People are misinformed.
That part, and that's what changed my mind. I was asking her about it, and she was saying like actually the vaccine isn't rushed. It actually was originally like a SARS vaccine, and they just kind of tweaked it for COVID.
So that's what I was gonna say is that apparently the ingredients that are in it, I don't know if that's the word, the
Yeah.
chemicals and stuff that are in it are nothing new. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing toxic in it.
Yeah.
It's just they've proportioned it to this whatever needs
Yeah.
to fight COVID.
I had a discussion with a guy I work with, and he's talking about he's not going to take it for one. He already had COVID, which I don't think that's a strong case for why you shouldn't get it.
I
But
mean,
either
yeah, that
way,
part.
yeah. But it's so crazy, man. People are untrusting of science.
I mean, I think it's more so the government. I think when they see it, they think the
Yeah.
government. Like, there's not government official. Well, I don't know this. There's not government officials making this. It's like scientists and stuff that I'm pretty sure they're at like a. They may be government funded, but they're at a But also too, like, this is their reputations and their careers on the line. So it's just like, of course,
Yeah.
I think like they're gonna put certain stuff in place and be mindful of how they make it, so it doesn't come back on them.
Look, the reality is, like, it's a scary thing because, like, people think of the government like as like a love-hate relationship. So, like, when you
Well, most
say
people
like,
hate the government.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
In America.
especially in America, yeah.
for sure, yeah.
So, like,
For
when
good reason.
people
I'm not saying
say-
they're wrong.
yeah. But I'm saying, like, I mean, it's good to be critical of it, you know.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to the scientists and like researchers for disease and stuff, I hardly think those are the worst people to be critical of. Like, I mean, actually,
my
I think,
point, yeah.
I would say it's fair to be critical. It's fair to be questionable, but just make sure you know that these people aren't just making shit up, and these aren't partisan people. Like, that's what that's the worst part about the government is
Yeah.
your left and right, like
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
partisan arguments
That's
in
you're
Congress.
articulating better my point. That's like they're not going to just make. Of course, like the government's funding. And, I don't think. I mean, you never know. There's always agendas to everything. But my thing, and also too, I was saying to Michael's point. What he was saying was that I went ahead and got it now where I could just do it at the hospital, schedule an appointment, because I know people that like outside of that, like that just want to go and get it, like yourself, and they had to go to Kentucky to go get it, or like somewhere crazy to go to get it, and it's like, like the lines and stuff. And also too, I think that, and I think me and Jackie may have talked about this before, and I hope it doesn't get to this point, but I think they're gonna make it a point to where you have to have it before you can do anything.
Yeah.
I think before you travel, before you get a job, before you want to go to college or school, you're going to have to show that paper showing that or show documentation that you got both shots before they allow you to do certain stuff.
When I was talking,
And even like stimulus
Yeah.
money, there may be a thing like with the stimulus. It's like, we're not going to give you a stimulus if you haven't gotten vaccinated.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like you got to pick your poison. It's kind of like, do you want it?
You don't need it, but
You may not need it. And like I said, people still have, like you said, people still have gotten
I'm saying they're
COVID
not
after getting it.
forcing you. They're not forcing you,
Yeah.
but then you just kind of don't get the benefits of the government. You know?
Well,
Or
I
society.
think I hope it doesn't get to that point, but I think it is. I think
I'd be more focused on like just stopping the spread of the disease. Like, I would think that'd be the primary
Yeah.
priority numero uno. Like,
Yeah.
So I assume that people are saying, I agree with that, but we shouldn't be rushing a vaccine. Like, I'm just trying to
So-
play devil's advocate.
No,
Yeah, I
no,
got you.
I hear you. And actually, I had a discussion with a guy at work about this, and we were talking about, like, first off, he was saying, like, I don't think we need to trust the vaccine because I don't think enough time has been allowed to figure out what the consequences are with it.
Facts.
And I was like, okay, so your own imagination, the way you feel, the way you think about the vaccine, do you think that your own imagination of this vaccine and like saying like, oh, it needs to have more time played out, you think that your own hypothesis and your own imagination, your own idea has more authority than the actual people that make it and say it's okay to take?
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think that's crazy to say. Like, I think when it comes to like the authorities of the vaccine, I think the people that study it, the people that make it, know a lot more about it. And I understand if you don't have trust about it.
Yeah.
But I just argued that I don't think you should trust yourself.
Which world
Over, like,
leaders?
Especially if you're not a
Scientific-
medical professional. And that was my thing.
Yeah,
It was
that's-
just like, when she decided to do it, and she's anti everything, and like I said, she went and did the research. And another myth, I think she told me too. I think of mine. This is all stuff I got from her. I've not read up on any of this, but she was saying also too, part of the vaccine. It's not. People think that it's a weakened version of COVID that they're giving you, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
Like, like with the flu, they give you like a weakened version of the flu. For the flu shot, they're
Yeah.
saying like with this, that's not the case. It's
Yeah.
not like a weakened version of COVID. It's just, I forget, it's like antibiotics and like other stuff, but it's not like the COVID virus is not actually, it's not in the
Right.
vaccine.
It's not like the flu virus.
Yeah.
So like
The Pope got vaccinated.
I mean, a lot of people are going. I mean, of course, a lot of people are going to do it, because
to promote it.
you
like,
promote it. Yeah.
I think when Putin gets vaccinated, everyone will. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's like one of those people that is like 20 people had to have taken a vaccine before he got.
Yeah, and that's kind of like how I was. So when she decided to do it, I was like, and she kind of explained more to me because she did the research, and I was just like, okay, I trust that because
Yeah.
I know like she's not going to just go and just take anything.
See, this is weird. Why is it unclear whether Xi Jinping has been vaccinated? Like, why can't would be someone that should be? You would
Number
think.
one to be like, hey,
Yeah.
I got that shit.
Did
Yeah.
y'all see that one thing with I forgot who it was. He was talking about how we've already lost to China. Like we
Of course
think that
not.
we're losing to China, but we've already lost.
Oh, we 1,000% lost to China. Yeah. Oh, like in general, they. Are you talking? Was it Bill Maher?
I think it was.
Yeah, I
You-
just saw that. Yeah.
I'll say if you want to pull it up. I was gonna go and find who I saw.
If we're
posted
gonna
that.
pull this up, I'm taking pizza though. 'Cause
Okay.
Bill Maher, China.
Yeah, we're at the hour
it's from-
mark right now.
Yeah, it's from.
Okay.
Yeah, this is it.
And finally, new rule, you're not going to win the battle.
That's it.
of the
Yeah.
21st century if you are a silly people. And Americans are a silly people. That's the classic phrase from Lawrence of Arabia when Lawrence
Guess
tells
not.
his Bedouin allies that as long as they stay a bunch of squabbling tribes, they will remain a silly people. Well, we're the silly people now. You know who doesn't care that there's a stereotype of a Chinese man in the Dr. Seuss book? China. All 1.4 billion of them could give a crouching tiger flying fuck.
Crouching Tiger.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
Crouching Tiger
they're
here,
not
yeah.
silly. If anything, they are as serious as a prison fight. Look, we all know
Yeah.
China's bad stuff. They break promises about Hong Kong autonomy. They put Uyghurs in camps and punish dissent. And we don't want to be that. But it's got to be something between authoritarian government that tells everyone what to do and a representative government that can't do anything at all. In 2 generations, China has built 500 entire cities from scratch, moved
Yeah.
the majority of their huge population from poverty to the middle class,
This is
and
crazy,
mostly
Jack. Listen to
cornered
this
the
shit.
market in 5G and pharmaceuticals. Oh, and they bought Africa. Their new Silk Road initiative is the biggest infrastructure project in history, indebting not just that continent, but large parts of Asia, Europe, and the Middle East to the people who built their roads, bridges, and ports. If you want to go anywhere in the world these days, you better have a yen for travel. Yen for...
Hold up for a second. When I was in Africa in 2014, you would see Chinese people, specifically Chinese. Like, I remember seeing my dad. I'm like, why are there so many Asians? He's like, no, it's the Chinese. They control. They're the ones building the roads in China. What they're doing is making millions of dollars. These Chinese construction companies, the African government pays them to make the roads. And these small businessmen in China have become millionaires, but they live in mud huts. And I remember saying to my dad, like, in Africa, their families live in beautiful mansions, but they, during the year, live in Africa in mud huts. They don't spend any of their money on hotels and shit. They kind of go with what we were talking about Mark Zuckerberg earlier, where, like, he'll wear the same clothes every day. Like, they don't give a shit about the about the lifestyle. They just care about having the lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, if you got to think, if you're making millions and millions of dollars, do you really think you give a fuck about getting fly? Like,
I was gonna say.
No, but
Also,
would you
yeah,
want to
'cause-
live in a place with no electricity? They don't care. In their culture, they're willing to take one for the team.
I mean, yeah, it's Americans that got to be comfortable with everything. Like, we got to, like, have
Yeah.
all this shit. Like, if American lived over there, it'd be like a fucking hut with a big screen TV, a place.
Yeah. Dude,
We got to have Wi-Fi.
We're
and shit, like-
materialistic, man. This culture is like
that's, yeah.
My dad was making way less in Africa and living in a nice hotel because he doesn't, he's not willing to live in a mud
he's
hut.
conditioned in that.
Mhm.
So we all are. We're
Yeah.
all conditioned in, like, we got to have a TV. Got to have. I mean, we're the.
Gotta have Netflix, man. We gotta
Netflix,
watch these shows,
that's what I'm
man.
saying. Yeah, that's true, and it's affected a lot of places in the world, but that sure enough came from us.
Oh,
TV
yeah.
in every living room, that started here
Yeah.
in the 50s, 60s, around there.
In China
Yep.
alone, they have 40,000 kilometers of high-speed rail. America has none. Our fastest train is the tram that goes around the zoo. California wanted to build high-speed rail connecting
The rest will be audio, I guess.
but alas, could not. We're $6 billion in the hole just trying to finish the track connecting the vital hubs of Bakersfield and Merced.
I don't even know what
One
Merced
small
is.
step for nobody, one giant leap if you're a raisin.
This is crazy, man. I didn't even see all this. I just saw like a 2-minute clip of it.
This is a good example of how sometimes authoritarianism gets shit done.
Yeah, that they get shit done because you kill people.
Yeah, fuck your freedom. We're gonna build a goddamn train that goes across the world.
We're gonna build a wall to cover the whole country.
Yeah, that's us. We're gonna build a wall. China said we're gonna build a motherfucking.
No, but China
train.
did build a wall. That took decades. That took
Oh,
generations.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
And guess
Like,
what? Didn't fucking work.
Didn't work.
Didn't fucking work. Mongolians
Yeah, no.
still took over. Genghis Khan.
We see a problem and we ignore it, lie about it, fight about it, endlessly litigate it, sunset clause it, kick it down the road, and they write a bill.
Must have just. Well, you can probably stop the audio.
Yeah, we could just call it a.
This is going to be the part where we stop the podcast right now. So, Micah, in the future, as in Micah present listening to this right now,
Mhm.
stop the audio now.